Hey guys, today is April 3rd, 2023. My name is Jasmine, and this is my journal entry, and I'm literally just getting out of bed. Well, I kind of take that back because I did try to record an episode before and I ain't like it, so I got rid of it. I'm starting over. Y'all just don't know how many episodes go unplayed because, man, I record, and that's why there be days in between because I record more often than y'all think, but I'll listen to it and be like, nah, I ain't gonna put that out there. Well, I hope your weekend was well. Today is Monday. My weekend was good. I spent time with my brother who's in the hospital. He got sick. He thought it was food poisoning. Called me, thought it was food poisoning. I'm just gonna make it quick. I think I talked about it too long last time. Um, he had food poisoning. Called him back, checked on him a few days later. He was still in bed. He couldn't get out of bed. He was weak. The symptoms he gave me just kind of had my spidey nurse senses. I call it my spidey senses, my nurse senses going off. So I was like, hey, bro, go to the hospital. My brother don't like hospitals. He told me he would, but I knew he was blowing me off. So I proceeded to be the annoying baby sister that he remembers. So finally he got up and went, and come to find out, he had an infected boil that he busted on his own. Guys, don't do that at home. Don't do that at home, please. It's not safe. And he ended up with an infection and throughout his entire body. So they had to do surgery to get the infection out and put him on some heavy duty antibiotics. And he's scheduled for another surgery this morning because they don't know if they got all the infection out. So it was serious. Weirdly enough, before all of this, about a week before he got sick, he sent me a message. It was a weird text, and he told me he was going to die. He's like, I think it's almost time for me to die, and I just wanted to tell you I love you, and that just really freaked me out. But he's okay so far. He's in the hospital. He's in good spirits. I've been sending him food. What else I do this weekend? So we watched Spiritual Accelerator.com. If you haven't joined, you missing out. This group is the bomb, y'all. I'm not going to go into detail on what it is. If you want to know about this group, you can. I did a whole episode on it. If you're on Spotify, because these episodes weren't yet uploaded to YouTube, but if you're on Spotify, it's on Spotify, and it's an older episode where I talk about this group and the changes or the power that it has done to my life. But anyhow, we watched the movie called Mr. Church with Eddie Murphy. Good movie. Go back and watch it. I don't want to give it away. But what we do in the family, I call that group my family, is that we go and we will watch a movie once a month and we'll break down the metaphysics of it. And when I tell you that I just be watching spiritual movies, I realize that every single movie that you watch can be spiritual because everything are spiritual because we're spiritual beings living a human experience. You could take the goofiest, dumbest of movies and extract something spiritual from it. You should be able to learn something spiritually from anybody, anywhere, and anything, anywhere. I don't care. I mean, I've gotten wisdom from mentally ill, homeless people. You could get wisdom anywhere. I've gotten spiritual wisdom from my cat, or from a spider on the wall. I'm just saying, wisdom is everywhere. You just have to be open to learn and receive it. That's why I never downplay anything, and I'll talk to just about anybody on any level. I don't see myself above or below anybody or anything because you can learn from anything, even your children. Those are your biggest teachers if you have children. Shout out to the parents out there. But anywho, we watched Mr. Church, and it touched me. I'm happy that my teacher picked that movie because my mom loved that movie and she used to want me to watch it with her, and I never did. And I finally got to watch it. It almost felt like I was watching it with her. At first, I started to feel that guilt and that emotion, but I quickly dismissed it and was like, I'm watching it now, Mom. So we sat down and we watched that movie, and it was really good. One of the things I liked about the movie, because the character Eddie Murphy portrayed, he was like this great cook, but he was very private. And then, at nighttime, he did other things, but also the man was battling some demons. I don't want to give too much away. But if you look at it, all the characters in the movie were battling something, but that didn't take away the fact that they were great people. And one thing I'm learning about today's culture and today's people is that we are so critical of other people, especially when it comes to their shadow sides or the darker sides of them, or the things that they're not so proud of, or the things about them that society deems as not good or bad or whatever. And I realized that when it comes to the vibration of love, which is a super, super duper high vibration, you know, love is just love. And when you operate in love, and you operate in the energy of love, love is what it is no matter the circumstance or what's going on. You know, love is saying, okay, this person is, I love these great attributes that this person has to give to the world. But I'm also going to love these not so great attributes that the person gives to the world too. You know what I mean? Or these not so great qualities that this person has. And I remember talking to a friend of mine, and she was into this guy, and she was like, "Yeah, I really like him. He's this, he's that, he's this, he's that, but I don't like this." So as she proceeded to name all the qualities about this person that she didn't like, this woman came up with a full plan on how she was going to try to change this person because she hated this quality about this person so much. And I'm just like, I feel like love is more acceptance, like accepting a person for truly who they are. Prime example, my dad, stepdad, he is a Taurus. He is a stubborn, bull-headed Taurus. He has a birthday coming up too. I love that guy, but there are so many attributes I love about him. And then I remember being a kid and looking at some of the things that he does and acts and just hating it, like wishing I could change it, wishing I could find a way for him to perform differently. But I realized that that wasn't fair to him. That wasn't really a him issue. It was a me thing, because we should never like want to desire to change other people. So I just accept it. Like, my dad is a wonderful person. He's loving. If you call him, he's there. But he's a bit moody too. You know what I mean? He's a moody Taurus, and he has his days. And I realized, like, if you let him have his moments, or if you let him have his moods, they pass and then he's okay. And I just learned to love him the same. I feel like I love my stepdad more now than I ever did in my entire life, because I've accepted who he was. And I'm doing that for all of my friendships and all of my connections, even the friends that I'm estranged from, that I felt hurt me one time or another. At one time, like, if you hurt me and I was mad at you, I'll be cordial with you, but on the inside, you all types of bitches. that's just that's the darkest side of myself that I don't tell people often. But if you've hurt my feelings before, I can hold on to things, and I will smile at you and say hi and be cordial with you. But in the back of my mind, I am cussing you out, like, literally, fuck you, bitch, your mama, whatever. It's that old jazz. She can linger in there sometimes. But as of late, I've just been dissolving of that. Like, I haven't felt the need to have that energy towards anybody. It's just like, okay, this is how that person is, and that's okay. Now look, of course I'm going to always protect myself first and choose how I approach any energy or any situation. At the end of the day, like, I might have to pull back, or do something that I can do to protect myself, or protect my feelings. But it's no more hate there. It's no more like underlining, like, yeah, F you, and I'm really learning like that darker side of myself, because dealing with my girl's dad has been challenging lately. And sometimes I still have my moments. I had one, hell, yesterday. So today is his birthday, and the girls have been, because I always, Father's Day, birthdays, holidays, and I don't even do a holiday, but I know he does, and I know he thinks they're important, and I want his kids to honor and appreciate them. I'll take them to get him a gift, to pick their dad out a gift, and do stuff for their dad. Also, since I know that he's a single man or a bachelor, like, if I cook and there's food, I always make sure he gets a plate. Remember, I don't even have to make sure he gets a plate. His kids, his daughters, they fix him a plate. It's like, oh, what are you doing? Fixing dad a plate. He's gonna come pick it up. Or, mom, are you going that way? Can you drop dad off a plate? Because sometimes I often pass his house because he lives very close. We did that on purpose so that he can stay close to the girls, which is about to change pretty soon because he's moving. But anywho, that's what we did. And I realized yesterday, his sister threw a birthday dinner for him. And I couldn't make it because I was somewhere else. I was with my brother and I had other plans, but it got a little late. So by the time I was headed that way, the party ended early. His sister was tired and they left. So I was like, well, bring my plate. And they was like, oh, well, ain't no more food left. So in my mind, I'm like, you didn't make sure I got a plate? Y'all over there partying, got the whole family out of it. Nobody said. So that was wrong of me to expect anything. Because sometimes you expect yourself and other people and they don't often give it to you. So then I had to think back, like, even though we cordial and we cool, this man has not been, the friendship ain't been friending. So I had a moment. So I said, you know what? Instead of holding this emotion in like I would usually do and throw darts at him and look at him like you raggedy bitch in the back of my mind, I said, I'm just gonna call him and let him know. And I was like, where my plate at? Like, y'all ain't fix me nothing. And he was like, you know what? He was like, man, them kids went through those wings so quick. And I'm like, be honest, you ain't even think about fixing me a plate. We always make sure your ass eat. So I just kind of went down the line and I was nice, nasty about it. But I was like, you know what? Y'all ain't get me nothing for Mother's Day last year. The only reason why I got something from the kids was because my caregiver, shout out to Angie, took the girls to get me a gift. But you ain't been doing that lately. And I do that for you all the time. And I'm like, we supposed to be teaching these kids, you know, a certain thing. And you ain't been holding up your end of the bargain for the past few years. Y'all done missed my birthday. Y'all done missed Christmas. Y'all done missed Mother's Day. And you tripping. Fuck you. And I made sure I got that out because I didn't want to hold on to it. And I know y'all thinking like, Jazz, you said love is love is love. Yeah, I love him and I love them. But if I got something to say, I'ma say it. So I said it. I got it out nicely. And he was like, you know what? He was like, you starting to be more vocal. He said, you starting to, speak more. I guess, my actions lately is been kind of, getting that out of you when I'm used to you being kind of passive and quiet. And I'm like, yeah, that Jasmine is gone. So even though I walk in an energy of love and I'm going to love you no matter who you are and love those, even those shadow sides of yourself. And I'm learning to say what the fuck I said and let it go. I'm no longer really holding things in. If I got something to say, if I feel a way about something that's going on, I'm just going to say it politely and be done with it. So when I said it to him, he was like, you know what? I didn't even realize that I was doing that. He apologized and he was like, basically, you'll see changes. He said, what's coming up next? What's Mother's Day? So I'm like, okay, I'm not really expecting anything for Mother's Day, but I realized that once I let it out and spoke how I felt, I was good. And I was wondering, like, what if it would have turned into an argument? I probably still would have been good because I said what the fuck I said, instead of holding it in. I think a lot of my issues, health issues, or my ailments come from years of holding things in. But at the end of the day, it's not going to change the way I act. I'm still going to. I mean, for a moment there, I said, "Fuck that, I ain't doing that shit no more." But at the end of the day, that's just not my character. I'll say that, and then Father's Day will come, and I'll be at the store with the girls like, "Hey, pick your dad out something for Father's Day," because that's just my character. So I can't allow the actions of other people to change my character or who I am. But I am going through great strides to protect myself. So, when we practice the energy of love, are we truly practicing it? You know, are we truly you know, loving people for every aspect and every single ounce of who they are? Now, look, y'all, loving somebody does not necessarily mean that you are going to sit through any type of abuse or pain, because you have to love and protect yourself first. But you can love somebody from a distance. you can separate from people and still be respectful, and still honor them and love them, and just be, conscious about it. I remember I have a friend. I'm not gonna say that we've fallen out, but we just really don't speak. Um, but I still talk to the children. I still talk to his children here and there. Well, actually, all the time now. We speak, which is beautiful. And, this person has they've upset me at times, but I think I've learned this from being friends with this person, because when I meditate on it, my spirit always guides me back to love. It's not any type of bitterness there. Even though, like, a part of you want to have bitterness where you feel like somebody hurt you by doing something to you, it always guides me back to love. And I'm realizing that with most people now when I meditate, even my abuser, y'all. It's just, I do not, and I know this sounds crazy, but I do not hate my abuser. I just don't. It's just, I don't have the energy to hate that person. You know what I mean? My whole perception of it is changes. So I think that's just definitely a sign that I am healing, that I'm healing, um, which is good. But anyhow, I was sitting in church with his son, and his son was sitting next to me, and he tapped me, and he was like, "Miss Jasmine." And I was like, "What?" He's about 9, very smart kid. When I say he's smart, he's almost too smart for his own good. And he got a smart mouth. And one that was like, "You got to," I was like, "Why you got a smart mouth?" He's like, "Because I'm smart, Miss Jasmine." Or an example was, we was at the doctor's office, and his grandfather, we was at a doctor's appointment, and his grandfather was like, "Okay, so you're a man, you got to take care of your own stuff. So take your own coat off, pick your stuff up, put it here, da, da, da." So they moved us to another room, and his grandfather handed him his jacket. His grandfather was like, "Hey, can you put my jacket on the back of my chair?" He was like, "Grandpa, Papa, whatever he talked of." He's like, "I thought you said that a man takes care of his own stuff and does all of this thing. So, like, why are you asking me to hang your jacket on the chair when you a grown man? You supposed to take care of your own stuff." That's the type of kid he is, And I remember one time, I was over there doing math problems with him, and he was just zapping all these math questions. He was like, "Ask me any math question, I can get it." And I'm like, "Okay." And I'm asking him fairly easy but hard stuff. But he's so big, you wouldn't think that he's 9. He looked like he's about 11, but he's 9. And I'm like, "Okay, I'm asking you 7th grade algebra questions, and you answering these questions off the top of your dome." That's just how smart he is. But anyhow, we're sitting in church, and he was like, "Miss Jasmine," and he was like, "Who sent this to you?" So I was like, "God and your dad." And he was like, "Also, God and my dad sent you." I was like, "Yeah." So I was like, "Why you asking? You trying to throw me back to the streets or something?" He was like, "Nah, nah, 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 nah. You got to stay with us. I like you. I want you to stay. I just wanted to make sure. That's why I wanted to know where you came from, because I don't want you to go back." So that's my little buddy. So I realized that I always try to hold this person in a high regard or high respect, especially around his children and his family, because I just think that's important that we do that for anybody. And also, I lightweight mentor his kid's mother, who we've become very close friends. I always got her not to speak negatively, of this person in front of the children. Let's just be positive and speak, positively. Like, I don't speak negatively about my kid's dad in front of them. As a matter of fact, I don't even speak negatively of him at all, anymore. I used to behind his back. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I've evolved. I'm evolving. I used to tear his ass up, but I don't no more. It's just, what's the use? You know, I just feel like if you're going to operate in love and you want to teach people to operate in love, you have to move in that energy yourself. And I can't be out here talking about no love and light, and I'm up here, mad as hell at everybody, and you know, blowing up shit and being mean and resentful. So that's what I've been focusing on. Is there somebody in your life, because you know I'm going to bring it back to y'all, is there somebody in your life where, you know, you've been challenged with this? Like you've been challenged with loving every single aspect of them because they've hurt you before, or you just don't like them for what reason or whatever. They did something you didn't like to somebody else, and you find yourself not liking this person because they did something to somebody that you know what I mean? You know, if you call yourself a spiritual being, that's just not the energy that I choose to operate in. You can operate in whatever energy you want to, because I feel like with spirituality, it's not all love and light. You know, there's it's just things just things are just the way that they are. You know, I don't even look at things. I just things are just the way that they are, and I can't explain it. I don't want to use the words good or bad or negative or positive, because they're just there, you know. But however you view somebody, or okay, I put it this way: however you view somebody, no matter what happened or what it came through, um, is it in your highest nature to act that way, or does it take away from you to be a certain way? Because I feel like it's more draining to be upset with somebody and to hate somebody than to actually just accept them for who they are. And that don't mean you have to go out of your way to communicate with them, to show them love or pour love over them. Prime example, there's a lady at my job. She a housekeeper. And I'm telling you, I would speak to this lady every day. Hey, how you doing? And she would always speak back. And one day I went to work, and I said hi, and she looked at me crazy. She didn't speak back. So I was like, okay, maybe she's having a bad day. Next day I went to work, and I know we've all encountered people like this. And man, y'all, when I go to work, I mind my black ass business. Big announcement at the end though. So stay tuned, y'all. Anyhow, so I went back to work. A few days later, I seen her, spoke to her. She didn't speak back. So after that, third time, spoke to her. She didn't speak back. I said, you know what? I'm not about to keep speaking. Obviously, she's upset about something. Maybe she'll come around. I didn't take it personal, because I know for a fact that I don't be at work gossiping and talking about people. I don't start a lot of trouble. Um, I just, when I sat down and thought about it, there was no way that I could have offended her. And I've never had a conversation with her. So sometimes you think maybe yeah, something I said during the conversation could have offended this person. And I know that's not the case, because I've never had a personal conversation with this person. It's hi and bye. How you doing? And I keep going. And I do that pretty much to almost everybody except for a small few at work, unless I have to direct them because I'm in management. I'm very private when I'm at work. But most of the people at work know me because they follow me on social media. So I found out. But anyhow, you know, for some reason this woman don't like me, and I didn't find out she didn't like me until she complained on me to her boss, because I had a man that got sick. He was going down, and he did die a few days later, but I was so focused on his health I forgot to go back and clean up my mess in the room. So she reported me to her boss. So her boss called me, and she's like, you know what, Jazz, I know this is not like you, I know this is isolated, but I wanted to tell you that she complained that you didn't clean the room out. And she's like, can you just do me a favor and apologize? So the next day I went up to her and I was like, you know what? I apologize. So and so, that was not intentional. I would never do that. I'm usually pretty good at cleaning up after myself. I try not to leave a mess in the rooms. And she kind of rolled her eyes and she's like, whatever, okay. So, but little does she know is that I've been with that company on and off for the past 15 years. So, a lot of times, if somebody is really like running me through the mud and it don't sound right, somebody will come tell me. And they came and told me like, yeah, she was down there talking about you, and she said a whole bunch of stuff that I don't perceive as true, but maybe that's her truth. And she said like, basically, and she had nerve to come apologize, get off her high horse and apologize. Um, I would say this: in the nursing field and health field, black women, stop. It's always the older ones. It's like the older black women. And I remember when I first became a new nurse, I had this issue. It's these older black nurses and housekeepers and other areas, even in the kitchen. They're just nasty to the younger ones. Then they get mad when, the younger women don't have any respect. So I remember when I started off in nursing, I made it my duty to not be that way and to set a high standard and high example. Oh, you should have seen it when I went into management. Being younger than most of the nurses I worked with, oh baby, it was ugly. You talking about the turn of events. I mean, they were blocking me. They were rude. They wouldn't speak. I mean, cussing me out. It was just crazy how people can go from being nice to you, and then when you're in a quote power of position, unquote, even though I never took advantage of that position, they'll turn on you. And I mean, I've experienced that, unfortunately. But I don't know this woman. But I still, the point that I'm making is that even though she acts like that towards me, and I may not speak when I see her, I still show her respect. So she's blocking the highway. I say, "Excuse me, please." I might even throw in a "have a great day." I just don't allow her actions to penetrate who I am as a person. And in life, we're going to meet people like that. There are people out there that don't like me for absolutely no reason. And there's people who have plenty of reason to dislike me because I haven't, hell, till now, I'm going to rub somebody the wrong way. It's just the way things work. But there are absolutely people out there who are going to dislike you for no reason at all. Hell, there's people out there that I didn't feel that energy for no reason at all. We used to have, growing up, we had a friend, I'm not going to say her name, and everybody loved this girl and hang around her, but something in, I didn't know. And since I was younger, I was kind of mean about it. But as we gotten older, I realized later that was just my intuition, because now none of those people talked to her. Some things came out about this person that were kind of not well, and she done a lot of not so great things. So sometimes it's your spirit protecting you. Sometimes people need to be protected from me. You just never know. And sometimes you just don't feel close to people, and that's okay. But you don't have to mistreat them because you don't feel close to them. I guess that's the point that I'm making. Um, but anyhow, you know what? I'm gonna make my announcement on the next episode tomorrow. I'm gonna tell you about my announcement, and it'll be a quick episode. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it here because we're almost at the 30-minute mark, and I'm trying to get better at not going over. But anyhow, I guess I will sum it up by saying that if you're gonna love, don't feel no way about nothing. You know what I mean? Even the people that mistreat you, and that's what's going to prove where you are. If you can love someone that hurts you, that shows growth. I've been on my spiritual path for a little over 7 years, and I'm just now to a point to where I can actually say that I don't hate my abuser anymore. Even I never really, well, yes, I did. Let me quit lying to y'all. I don't know what I felt, but I don't, whatever it is, I don't feel it. And that's definitely a sign of healing within myself. And, learning to look at things from every angle, you know what I mean, is important. The bird's eye view, stepping outside of the box, putting yourself, not necessarily, well, maybe putting yourself in that person's shoes to see what they were thinking or what they're going through, or just looking at yourself, stepping outside of your own shoes and evaluating yourself and how you're responding to things or how you're responding to people and how receptive you are, so you can understand how things operate, you know, learn to love even through the hardest or the lowest times, even through people who have done things to you that you're not necessarily happy about. Even parents who you feel like turned against you or never believed in you or didn't raise you or hurt you or abandoned you in some sort of way. We have to learn how to love through these things, which I'm not here to tell y'all what to do because it's not easy. And I'm not here to, say, like, okay, you got to do it tomorrow, because sometimes it takes a very long time. It absolutely took me a long time. And I'm still working on it. There's still a lot of forgiveness that I have to work on in my heart. So I'll be lying to y'all if I told y'all like I just got it completely, because I don't. I'll just know as the tests come. That's how you learn your lessons. You get tested. And then if you pass with flying colors, you don't have to deal with it again. Peace.